Hi guys. Hi guys. Hi guys. Hi guys. Hi guys. Today's video is going to be a story of how I told my parents that I wanted to be a writer. So I don't really know if that you're hearing around. There's nothing I can really do about that. So we're going to start this story from secondary school. So if you haven't read or listened to we haven't listened to my storytelling journey and my journey towards writing stories full time, then please go back and watch that video. But yeah, that's what we're going to start from. We're going to start from SS2. So you'd know that from that story that I told previously, you will obviously notice that I had been writing throughout my life. And when I was entering SS2, I kind of knew that I wanted to go into the arts. So, you have the art, you have the science, you have the commercial or the accounting class, so or the social sciences, however your school is set up. So I obviously knew that I wanted to go into the arts, and I told my parents I want to go into the arts. There were a lot of choices to make, and I didn't know what to choose. All I knew was at that particular moment, the decision that was required was science or arts, and I decided that I wanted to do arts. It got to a point where my dad was like, what exactly do you want to study? Because frankly, I didn't know that there were courses like creative writing or media management or something. All these new courses you're just hearing about, I didn't know that they existed at that time. All we knew was medicine, pharmacy, law, engineering, and that was it. So definitely if you said that you're not doing science, then they will just push you and say you're doing law. I hope you understand what I mean. And for me at that time, the information was very, 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 very limited. I didn't know the surety of writing. I didn't know how I was going to make money writing, because the goal for my family was always for you to live a comfortable life doing what you studied. It wasn't surprising that they actually wanted me to do science. I got into class and my dad went to the principal and told him I want her to do science, and that was just it. People were surprised because a lot of people knew how much I read and they knew how much I wrote. Like I mentioned, I wrote a lot in secondary school, so go back to that video and watch it. So they knew how much I read, they knew how much I wrote, so I'm sure they were surprised, but I did it. I did the elimination method. I knew that I didn't want to spend 7 years of my life in school, so no medicine for me. I didn't want to do pharmacy because I really, really hated chemistry. I decided engineering. So I went to a list of engineerings and I searched, and then I found civil engineering and I was like, okay. So my school required an essay, 1,000 words, I believe, essay on why you want to study the course that you want to study. My dad asked me, let me see your essay. I showed him my essay and he was like, oh, this is so good. So this is very important because my father likes to use the fact that I wrote that essay to say this is why you should be a civil engineer, because you wrote that essay. My father loved this essay. He kept saying, oh, she's going to be such a great civil engineer. No, I'm just the writer. Like I can't be bad as writer. I can write. I can make believe that I love anything. That's how I ended up studying civil engineering. So it kept crossing my mind that I should switch my course, but I would have needed permission from my parents to do that, and I knew that there was nowhere on earth they were going to give me permission to do it. So I just suffered through it, and I remember telling my father, sitting them down and telling them, this is what I want to do. And they looked at me. My dad was like, how much do they pay writers and how much do they pay engineers? I couldn't answer. And he was like, writing is not a career. Engineering is a career. Writing is what you do on the side. Anybody can write. Anybody in this world can write. But not everybody can do engineering. And that, I would say, it discouraged me a lot. Much so that I did get a job in engineering. When people say things to you, when they say to you over and over and over again, you tend to believe them. A typical Nigerian parent will definitely tell you that creativity is not a job. The only way you can prove them is by making money. I'm not even going to lie. If you're looking for tips on how to tell your parents, honestly, I will tell you not to. Not to. You can tell them you're job hunting, let them fix you up with people. But in the meantime, work on your craft, hone your skills. Yesterday, I talked about how doing a lot of things while you're in school kind of gives you the exposure that you need. Do your work, have a lot of samples, back it up, submit them as for people who want to refer you. Get your portfolio going, create a whole portfolio of things that you can do. Offer to write for certain blogs, even if it is for free. At least give them 2 articles, let them see what you can write, and then decide that they want to pay you for the remaining content that you're going to be producing for them. Make money. That's the only way you're going to make your Nigerian parents believe that you can actually make money. See, my parents just thought it was only books that writers could do. They are not trying to be wicked. They are doing what they know best. In their time, the jobs that used to pay most are those engineering and medicine, those are the jobs that used to pay the most in their time. So they are still coming with that mentality that I want my child to be comfortable. This is what I wish I had studied. You have to understand that it's not unusual to transfer what you think is best for you onto your children, because you see them most times they look like you. They look like you when you were younger. So all you're seeing is yourself when you're younger, and you're seeing a chance to change your life. They will take it and they will act like that's the best for you, but it might not actually be, and they don't realize that until much later. They don't realize that you are a completely different personality from them. You just look like them, but you are a completely different person. So it's not their fault. They don't mean harm. I don't think any good parents actually set out to be wicked. They're trying their best with the limited knowledge that they have, and they just want you to be successful. That's it. I would say do your research. That's something that I wish I had done. I only knew about writing for blogs and writing personal stories. At that time, I thought that was all that you could do, as at the time I was in school. So, you have to do your research. Be very, very intentional about bettering yourself. Take classes. Learn. The school system doesn't teach you how to write, and that is another video. Let's write that down, because that's another video. That's another thing we need to expatiate on. The school system doesn't actually teach you how to write. It teaches you how to write essays. It doesn't teach you how to write the things that are important. It doesn't teach you how to write the things that make you money. It doesn't teach you SEO writing. It doesn't teach you how to use WordPress. It teaches you how to write letter. What are you going to use letter for in 2021? So you have to do better. I don't know about universities, because I didn't do English university. I'm talking about secondary school now. So better yourself, because nobody's going to do it for you. You need to be moving with the trends,